This is Matt and Jeff Hardy, and we are super excited to be coming back to St. Joseph's. We are going to be here with TNA on March the 28th and 29th, Friday and Saturday, and we're going to be recording TNA Impact, and we want you to be there because the Hardys are going to get extreme.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back into iHeartRadio's official wrestling podcast, the Battleground Podcast. It is Battle, it is Eli, and TNA Wrestling is making its long-awaited return. St. Joseph, Missouri, for the first time in, well, more fingers than I can have on my hands. 12 years. That's right. 2 nights, March 28th, 29th. The St. Joseph Civic Arena is going to be rocking with high-energy action-packed pro wrestling, including the first-ever televised TNA event from St. Joe. And today on the show, we've got 2 legends, 2 risk-takers, 2 of the most iconic high flyers in wrestling history. We got Matt. We got Jeff. You know them as the Hardy Boyz. Welcome to the show, guys. How are you?
Very good. How are you guys, man? You guys doing all right?
We are extreme on a good. We're very excited. I know we've had you guys here on the show quite a few times here recently, and great to always have you guys back on. And I want to jump right into this one because everybody's been talking about it. Your recent title defense against the NXT Tag Team Champions, Fraxiom, at WWE's Roadblock event was a significant moment. How did it feel to take those TNA championships and showcase them on such a prominent WWE platform for the world to see?
It was great. The whole NXT experience for us was just amazing all the way around. And we went in there with a lot of pride, went in there with a lot of confidence, and we put our titles on the line. You know, they were very lucky their NXT titles weren't on the line because if they were, we'd be double champs, NXT and TNA champs right now. But I'm thinking because we did defeat them, maybe that puts us in line for an NXT title shot, you think?
I think that and maybe your name maybe may lead to some of that, you know. But yeah, piggybacking off that, are you guys envious at all of the Performance Center? Like, you guys didn't have anything like that when you were coming up. Are you a little envious? Like, geez, this would have been a game changer.
No, not really.
Not really.
I'm not envious at all. That was the first time Matt had ever been there,
Yeah.
which kind of blew my mind because back during the pandemic, we were there all the time in the very early stages of it when the world shut down.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was overall the few weeks we did NXT was super special.
That's killer, man. Well, Matt, you mentioned that you and Jeff feel new and fresh during this TNA run. Can you elaborate on what's contributing to this maybe renewed energy and how TNA's resurgence has impacted your performances?
I mean, I think our relationship with TNA has been a mutual admiration society in many ways. I think TNA was starting to go on a resurgence, and we were able to be a part of that. And I think the Hardys being there also helps strengthen their resurgence in many ways because we're kind of in a resurgence of our own. Like, we've been put in a position. The thing I have to compliment TNA on the most, and I will also give NXT credit as well, the chef, Shawn Michaels, he was cooking. But at TNA, they have put us in a position to succeed. And considering we're like a legacy act, if you utilize us in the right way, it's really easy to do. And TNA has done it perfect to a T thus far.
And last time we talked to you, you guys mentioned, I mean, you guys are continuing to innovate. I mean, you're not resting on your laurels. You're developing new things. That's a sign of a hungry talent, you know?
You guys like the plot twist? That's our new.
Yeah.
You were telling us about that last time. You're like, we've got this new move we're trying out. We're not going to tell you about it. You're just going to have to watch. And then I was like, I texted Eli. I was like, there's that move they were telling us about that they wouldn't give us any more details. They just said, watch TNA. Yeah. But man, fantastic stuff. And you know, when you think about the Hardys, you obviously think about also the Dudley Boyz. And I know Bubba Ray or Bully Ray, depending on who you talk to, has expressed interest in reigniting the historic rivalry between the Dudleys and the Hardys for one final match. How do you feel about potentially revisiting this iconic feud, and what would it mean for both teams at this stage in your careers?
Please, I think we're ready. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Myself and Jeff, we're 100% ready. We're up every morning. We're doing our ice baths, our cold plunges. We're busting our ass. We're working out. We're trying to stay in tip-top shape to be middle-aged men. We are ready. We would love to face the middle-aged Dudley. So as long as Bully and Devon, they're ready to rock and roll, we are ready at the drop of a dime.
Are we gonna put the TNA titles up for that on that match?
Goosebumps. I just got goosebumps.
We'll put the TNA titles up. Hell, maybe we'll be the NXT champions.
Yeah,
We'll put the
why
NXT
not?
titles up. Who knows? Why don't they bring their old school ECW titles? I'm sure they got some replicas. Put those on the line too.
Yeah.
Oh.
We'll actually add ECW tag team champions to our
I
list.
think their claim is they're the most decorated tag team.
That is their claim. Because
I haven't investigated that claim. I don't know.
well, they have had a lot of title runs, especially in ECW. That's where they got the jump on us.
Yeah.
But I do have to say this: they can't claim they're the most popular tag team of all time. I think we own a good claim to that one, and also the most influential tag team of all time. But we are working, and I think when it's all said and done, we are going to be the most decorated tag team of all time. Yeah, I said it.
Yeah. Well, and you mentioned, y'all's appeal has been so wide. I mean, specifically the tag team, of course, but then you guys definitely had your own single success, and that was a whole difference on that. So, like, the talent or the fans have gravitated to you guys for several different reasons, not just the tag team and stuff. Jeff, reflecting on, some of the things in the past, how have those experiences influenced your in-ring style and an approach to storytelling within the TNA? Do you offer advice to people if they ask you about things like that, or do you kind of keep it a little private?
Yeah, I'm kind of a private guy. My biggest thing is I'll just say if somebody asks me for advice, anything you can do, I'm just like, no, man, that was great. Just keep doing what you're doing. Everything looked great. But yeah, just coming out on the other side of all my dark stuff, man, it's just I'm so grateful each and every day to have this opportunity, to succeed again and to end my career on an extremely high note instead of a real depressing low, because I came close to like ending it all. So it's super excited. This last run is going to be like one of the best runs of the Hardys that we've ever had. And yeah, there's even a twist to the plot twist that's probably coming soon. So man, there's all kind of innovation always steady going on in my mind. And I still love the craft of pro wrestling like I did when I was 12 years old.
Well, I can speak as a fan. We were happy you're just healthy and happy. The wrestling part is an added bonus, but we're just so grateful you're still here with us. So I'm going to be at Vegas for the Mania Week. And I was thinking back to Mania Week a few years ago. You guys, fought the Bucks on a Saturday, and then you're at Mania the following day and became WWE Tag Team Champions. Can we expect anything wild for you guys during Mania Week? I mean, can you show up anywhere or
anything can happen in the extreme life of the Hardys? I can't say that. And also one thing you're missing out, that Friday night, we main evented the WrestleCon show against Penta and Phoenix, who are a very established team now. And then we wrestled the Bucks and Ladder Wars on Saturday. And then Sunday, we obviously showed up at WrestleMania 33 in the ladder match.
And I was repping one of y'all's opponents here.
Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. Look at that.
Briscoes.
Boys.
Yeah. And man, and kind of going back to what Eli said, I mean, just when you think of the Hardy Boys, it's a name that everybody goes to Matt and Jeff. And I am 36 years old. My kid is 8 years old. And I told him about, hey, I'm interviewing the Hardy Boys. And he started freaking out. And he's 8, so he knows everything. He's like, make sure you show Jeff my action figure that I have. We also had a Matt, but our dog got it in an Extreme Rules match. So sorry, Matt.
Deleted.
He did. But it's just so great to see the fact that, like, not only can like somebody like myself and Eli, who grew up and we watched you guys on TV, now it's getting into another generational of fans that get to watch the Hardy Boys. And that's got to be a cool thing. And also just goes to show your longevity, because like you said, you're taking care of yourself. The ice bath. I mean, I sit here and watch you guys on social media. You posted the videos. I see Jeff outside doing his artwork and he's singing every day. I see, Matt trying to keep up with everything with his wife on TikTok and like, you're staying in the eye of everybody and you're staying relevant, where you see some tag teams of the past where they're just kind of like, we're just going to do this.
We do. We both live very fulfilling lives. We both have kids. Mine are a little younger than Jeff's. They keep us busy, and we have a very solid and fair exchange, I think, between professional life and pro wrestling and family time as well. I think they really work well together. They gel together. Although the last 3 weeks have been super slammed as we were doing NXT and TNA at the same time. But with that being said, we're always excited to get out to new towns. Like we're coming out here to Kansas City, to St. Joseph's, And it's the first time he said TNA's been here in 12 years. We're really excited about this event. And it's so cool because every event we've been going and having TV, we're having new fans, we're having new eyeballs. And like you said, there's multiple generations that are coming to check us out because there's older people that grew up watching us and know who we are. And now they've had kids and their kids have become fans, you know, with the whole WWE network and obviously the internet and everything else. So we're in a really cool position. We're really grateful for all the love we get from folks.
That's awesome. I've got one, unless you got one, Battle.
No, it's all you.
So going back to your Mania, you know, you guys obviously had an insane pop in 2017. At the Rumble, the TNA World Champion Joe Hendry had a very big pop. I was there; it was very loud. What do you think of Joe Hendry's success? You know, he had a little stint in NXT back in the day. He's gone through the world traveling thing. Like, what do you think about him as a talent and as a world champion for TNA?
Yeah, I wish I could have been there in Indianapolis to hear that, the energy of that crowd when his music hit, man. I'm sure that was just so incredibly fulfilling as a Joe Hendry fan. But yeah, just the way he uses social media, you know, I kind of envy that because I don't know anything about social media to that extent. Matt is much better at that. But yeah, his success has been crazy, and it's so cool it makes me think about, okay, my old WWE theme, No More Words, for one of these Royal Rumbles in the next few years for that song to hit. It gives me hope that might be a possibility.
That would be incredible. Oh my God.
I'm getting goosebumps thinking about that because I know we've talked about this before in the past of like, you know, like historic, memorable theme songs. And I know you've talked about it, Jeff, how you want to bring that back. And, you know, I sit here and think it's like that would be incredible. You sit there and you're at a, you know, the Rumble or you're at a TNA show or whatever, and all of a sudden that hits and you go back in time to when you were a kid when you heard that, and it's like,
because I think you'd be expecting the Hardy theme, you know, if there's rumors when y'all are appearing, so that would definitely be a left field. Focusing back on TNA, who are some talent maybe that's really impressed you in maybe behind the scenes, maybe not a champion or somebody, but just someone that's just every day you're like, God, they're putting in this work.
Joe Hendry, first and foremost, a huge fan of his work, a huge fan of his work ethic, huge fan of him as a person. Love everything he's doing. So great, busting his ass. I'm really happy to see Frankie Kazarian get the opportunity he's getting. He's been very underrated, you know, especially
he's also a little resurgent. Yeah,
and he has been absolutely great at what he's been doing. So that's been very nice to see too.
Leon Slater, man.
Oh my
God, that guy's going to be a huge star.
Yeah. He strikes me as someone that picks your brain from time to time.
For sure. And just when I first heard about that Swanton 450, I was like, what is that? And Matt sent me a clip of it. And I was like, oh my God, how is that even humanly possible?
Right.
You know, to pull off. But yeah, he is. Yeah, he's
that was a huge free agent signing for TNA. I mean, he can't win anywhere, you know.
I mean, he's 20 years old, you know.
That's crazy.
Such a bright future in front of him, and he gets it. And that's one of the things. He's one of the guys we've kind of been paired with a little bit. And I think it's our job to kind of give him some of our rub and also like instruct him on how to improve and how to be better, whatever else, lead him down the right path. So it's been a blast, been an absolute pleasure working with Leon. And it's going to be real interesting coming up for myself and Jeff, because we have this, it looks like we're going to be getting into a blood feud with the Nemeth brothers, especially after Nick Nemeth just betrayed me. You know, we were
in the cage.
Yeah.
That was brutal to watch, and I was just like, "Oh, this you done screwed things up, and now it's like you're about to get a whole new wrath of the Hardy Boyz. Maybe we might get you know, some fan favorites from in the past of TNA, some Vanguard, maybe some Willow. I'm just throwing it out there. I mean, the Nemeth don't know what they're getting into.
You're not wrong. You are not wrong. I mean, the last thing the Nemeths want to do is find themselves at the Hardy compound, because it will be it will be a true living nightmare for both of them.
God, I hope that happens, because I cannot wait.
And it's a little head scratcher too, because like the fans were behind Nick, you know, like he could have had an opposite reaction coming over to TNA, but I mean, they were behind him and stuff as world champ. So it's very kind of surprising to see that. So,
well, the thing I think you're going to see develop out of all of this, and this is what it seems like, because we heard some of this through the rumor mill. I feel like he felt when he came back, he kind of kicked off the resurgence of TNA in some ways, and when he was the champion of TNA. But then, like, once myself and Jeff got there, it's like, well, they're giving the Hardys all the credit. The Hardys are getting all the credit, not me. I think there was a little bit of jealousy. And I know he's coming out to speak on Impact tomorrow, and I'm sure he'll break down and go into more detail on that. And also his brother's weird. I mean, his brother is just such a strange cat, so weird. And Nick was really pushing to have him in our cage match, and then we just couldn't have that. It came down to Ryan Nemeth or Leon Slater, and I think we went with the right call with Leon Slater. And I think all of those elements combined, a little underlying jealousy of Nick Nemeth, along with the fact that we didn't utilize his brother in that match. I think that's why he pulled the trigger and made the choice that he did.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, I know that your time is very precious because, the champ's time is always precious. So real quick, before we let you go, of course, we're here to talk about the big Impact taping, St. Joseph's, coming up here March 28th and 29th. All the details, tickets, TNAWrestling.com. Before we let you go, is there anything you want to say to all the fans that are watching or listening to this right now?
Yeah, I was going to say, if you are anywhere in this area for St. Joseph's, please come out to these shows. You are going to love them. TNA, it is white hot right now. It is on a roll. We have Joe Hendry, who is one of the hottest, most viral pro wrestlers is going right now. You have the Hardys there, where you know how a lot of stuff in video gaming and whatnot, retro is real cool. I think when it comes to the Hardys, retro is cool in wrestling as well. We're kind of like a retro version of ourselves right now. So it's been cool. But we have a great lineup from top to bottom. Every time we do these shows, people leave totally entertained and totally thrilled. So make sure to make these tapings next week in St. Joseph's, and let's make this a very, very special few Impact episodes.
And yet our meet and greets these days, we've been demonstrating the power of patience. We didn't even get to go to sleep last week, so we signed until like 3 a.m.
Oh my god!
And it was insane. We went straight to the airport, but the love and support that's showing up for us, man, the genuine love and support that's showing up for us has been extremely powerful, and I can't wait to experience that here.
There were in El Paso last week because of the injuries, my injuries in the cage and being beat up. We didn't do it the first night. The second night we did, though, which was Saturday night. And we started signing about 10:30, and we signed till 3 o'clock in the morning. We did 1,200 people, whatever. It was just insane, but it is what it is, man. Life is good, and we are grateful that we have that love, and we are patient, and we do our best to give everyone a really special and memorable experience. And also a new Hardy shirt.
Oh, I noticed those. Yeah,
right here. It's a new Hardy Boyz symbol, TNA. You can get it on the website. We are forever.
There we go. And again, like you said, I've watched it firsthand at your meet and greets when you had the TNA show here in Nashville, and we were kind of in the back. And I watched it. You took the time to talk to everybody. And it wasn't one of those take a photo, sign, thanks for coming out, we'll see you tomorrow. I think that's the longevity, and that just goes to show how great of a guys you are and how you are dedicated to your fans. Because I remember my kid was 7 at the time, so you sat there, both of you guys talked to him, and he thought that was the coolest thing and still talks about that to this day, and has one of Jeff's sleeves that he threw out in the crowd. So he wears that religiously. So again, it's always an honor and a privilege to have you guys on the show, and thanks for coming on today.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having us, man. Appreciate you.